normal?
It's normal, bro. I just have speakers. Like that's it.
Okay. You said you know the objection.
Yeah, you collapse between. Yeah, you give a collapse of distinction between logical modality and metaphysical modality.
In virtue of what?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure.
What? So you said you knew the objection, boss. What do you mean?
Yes, the objection is just stating that. I know what the objection states.
Oh, but you don't know the. Well, there's multiple objections to the collapse, but the variation is what I'm inquiring on. I'll just tell you what I mean. So
Sure.
when we inquire on the metaphysical modality regarding possibility and necessity, it wants to say those things are possible in virtue of the essence. Now I take the essence to embed like necessary sufficient conditions. But then when we look at the logical modality, you want to say something's logically possible if it doesn't violate some laws of logic, and we determine that in virtue if the definitions of the propositions indexed to the terms are also going to be consistent. And I take definitions to embed necessary sufficient conditions. So if both views require necessary and sufficient conditions to determine a possibility, I don't see the relevant distinction between the two.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay, I mean, I give you a line of reasoning.
Yeah,
Maybe be very clear on what I said or you denying.
Yeah, so I'm just critiquing the part where you said you take definitions to like just have necessary sufficient conditions. Yeah, you can't go on mute because like you have like an echo.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, let me just put on my push to talk.
Yeah, thank you. Specifically what I'm trying to critique is, well, I'll do Russell's propositional structure, which just states that we have distinctive types of definitions. We can talk about intentional or extensional type of definitions, which just pertain to the essence. But then when we talk about essence in context, or not essence, but if we talk about definitions in context to that generally reductive definitions, that's distinct from intentional and extensional types of definitions. Because essence would include some intrinsic characteristics of the concept or entity or subject. However, you have general reductive definitions, which would just refer to the core fundamental idea or notion of the subject, which is distinctive. And so then you can see that you're embedding some criteria within what the essence is employing or like what the essence has within it, but that's distinctive from the general definition of the thing. We don't apply general definitions to entities, to be clear.
Okay, well, I have a clarity question. Do you take of any of the definitions you employ to be the ones which don't account for necessary and sufficient conditions necessarily?
No, so that's a confusion. I agree that, well, definitions, yeah, you can have like even general reductive definitions talk about necessary sufficient conditions, but specifically the point is not every single necessary sufficient condition falls under being, a general reductive definition. You can posit some necessary sufficient conditions for an entity, however, it still does not qualify as being a general reductive definition under the Russell propositional structure I'm proposing.
What will be the other condition needed?
What do you mean the other condition? I'm just saying we have conditions. No. This is like pretty much similar to this. For example, like someone conflicting between, all animals are cats and all cats are being animals. I just take it to be the case that, well, these type of like intentional or extensional definitions employ some necessary sufficient conditions, but that does not mean those conditions can be embedded within the general reductive definition.
Wait, how does that respond to what I'm saying? And just to be clear, for the sake of productivity, could you recapitulate the objection I'm making?
Yes. Look. So the reason why I respond to what you said, which that's to summarize what you're saying. You're saying that, well, for example, metaphysical modality takes into account essence. So it describes possibility relations, necessary relationships, and etc. And these type of like motor concepts in virtue of the fact of the essence. Now you just take it to be the case that both definitions, which account for logical modality and essence, would also just embed necessary sufficient conditions. Therefore, there wouldn't be any distinction between those two modalities. So can you go? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why you're yelling.
What?
Okay, now be very clear on what you said from the response. Or matter of fact, just do me one better. Tell me the exact mutually exclusive principle that distinguishes the two.
I can do that, but first of all, I'm trying to critique your objection, or the collapse objection, and then yes, I can give a motivation for why those two things are distinct.
Yeah. So the only way to respond to that is that they're not identical, and they're not identical in virtue of what? So look, there's one of two things which could be happening right here. There could either be equivocation, right? Because I'm just elucidating you on what I take the metaphysical talk to be. Now you're saying that Islamic view doesn't adopt logical modality, it adopts the metaphysical modality, and I'm telling you, under the interpretation of metaphysical modality I'm acquainted with, it's analytically true, there's no distinction. Now, it's either the case we're equivocating on what the metaphysical modality is, and if that's the case, I'm just inquiring on what you take it to be, and what will be the distinction with that and the logical modality.
Yeah, I don't think you're understanding. So I can give a motivation for why metaphysical modality and logical modality are two distinctive scopes of modality. But right now, I'm trying to critique your justification as to why there's like a collapse of distinction between those two modalities. So my critique to your justification is that specifically we have Russell's propositional structure, which differentiates or distinguishes between the general reductive definition and intentional extensional type of definition. So you're conflating between the two.
I have a clarity question. Do both those definitions necessarily account for necessary and sufficient conditions? Just a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, well then that's compatible. The response you gave there is not even defeating what I'm saying.
No.
Why are you yelling? Your mic is very loud. When you yell, it hurts my ears. Wait, you're saying chill? I'm trying to tell you. Every time you yell, it's cringe and it hurts my ears, bro.
Yeah. Alright, bro. Just listen. No one's.
Your mic is loud.
Okay, just chill. Alright, hold on. Is that better?
It's not better. Just don't yell.
I'm not yelling, bro. Calm down. You're being still friendly.
You just screamed.
What? No, I'm not screaming. I'm very calm. Alright, so instead of this jibber jabber, let's go back to the point. Yeah, you're making a category between the two, and again, I said you're making a conflation. What you're trying to say here is identical to that, which you say, oh, all cats are animals, therefore all animals are cats. I've already extrapolated this.
I never said that, bruh. What are you saying?
No, the structure is the same. I'm explaining how you conflate between subsets and the thing itself.
Hold on, wait. No, this is confused. So I didn't even talk about any quantification, nothing of the sort. All I said is, look, I take the logical modality. The determination for something to be possible is just when we analyze the definitions, and I take the metaphysical modality. The determination to talk about the metaphysical talk is just the definitions. Oh, I'm not saying nothing about all cats are dogs. Therefore, all like what? I'm not talking about.
No, you're confused. What you're basically doing is a similar conflation to that. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So I'm saying that since you're not employing Russell's propositional structure, what you're saying is basically a category error of that kind. So you're not tracking. But I can just give you the distinction since this is relevant.
Wait, I want to be clear on your objection. So you're saying I'm committing a category error?
Can you tell me what extensional or intentional type of definition is?
What's the argument for the relevance relation?
Argument for the relevance relation? Do you think that was good?
Yeah. If it's not, I'm just trying to be dismissed.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if you're like tracking the argument, so I can go ahead. Because if you don't know, then I'm going to explain it for you. If you do know, then I'm going to do it. Yes, let me see if you're tracking the argument.
What will be the contradiction in me tracking the argument and not responding to that?
You know what he said? There's a contradiction. I'm just trying to make sure.
All right. So if I'm not needed to do that, I'm not dialectically obligated to do it. It's dismissed.
There's no logical contradiction in you doing so. That doesn't mean that you're not obligated.
Okay? I'm dialectically obligated to do that under what norms?
It's better for the baby becomes more cognitively useful. Like please, like.
Okay. I don't even care about the usefulness.
If you don't care for the usefulness, then you can continue.
The point is, I'm trying to get clear on the objection. Is it true or false that you're saying when I say both the modalities, the determination of those two to be possible is the definitions? You said that was categorically incorrect. I'm trying to get clear on what's being said there.
Yeah, also you're making a category between extensional and intentional types of definition with a general reductive definition. And that's some Russell's propositional structure.
What kind of definitions do you think I'm using?
Talking about general reductive definitions.
Okay, and explicate the definitions there.
Definitions of what? I gave multiple things.
Yeah, the type of definition you just deployed.
The type? Are you implying a single because I gave you three?
Yeah, exactly. You said there was three types, and you said.
Yeah, and you saying the implies a singular. Can you please track?
No, singular index to the one you're saying I'm using. So you gave three. I said which one of the three am I using?
It's a general reductive definition which already extracted.
I know. I asked you to explicate the definition.
Yeah, I've already did that prior, so you're not tracking. Thank you.
I mean, I didn't know you did that, but none of.
Yeah, so just be clear.
Why are you back yelling? Why do you do this yelling?
I'm not yelling. Why are you schizophrenic?
You're actively yelling.
Whoa, chill, buddy.
You're actively yelling.
But I know you're like meta schizophrenic. That's fine. But go ahead and just listen to the argument. It doesn't really matter if I'm expanding. Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. Yeah. So again, with the Russell propositional structure, you're taking out or picking out the general reductive definition, right? Now the general reductive definition is going to be the core fundamental notion of the concept.
Which is, I mean, that wasn't informative. Break that down.
Yes, it does. Yeah, okay.
Break it down.
Okay, I got you. Just calm down. Yeah, so.
Why are you being performative?
Whoa, just calm down. Whoa. Alright. So like I was saying, Alright, so I'm gonna shut up. Okay. So just to talk about, like, for example, the core fundamental idea of what a thing is. Like, for example, contradiction. Contradiction is defined as a P and LP, right? But then you can also have.
I'm not asking for examples. I asked you for the definitions. What are you doing?
I already gave you the definitions, and I'm trying to further clarify what the definitions are saying with an example, so you can have a better understanding.
What? Wait. Let me type this out. Hold on. Let me type this out. Hold on. This will be better because the loud mic and the static's already making it hard.
Well, loud mic, yeah, definitely. I got my shit on negative 3 dB.
Well, everyone in the chat probably can tell you that your loud mic and boss. All right. So, what's the name of the definition you think I'm using? Because I feel like you're equivocating.
Yeah, generally reductive definition.
All right, define it.
Yeah, so generally reductive definition, it just could be like the.
Am I going?
What?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so a general reductive definition is just a type of definition to which it explicates the core fundamental notion of the concept being employed. And on top of that, you can utilize it.
Wait, you said the core fundamental what?
Core fundamental notion or idea of the concept.
Core fundamental notion or idea of a concept. And are you saying okay, let's be clear now. The category
I'm not done with the definition.
Oh, what else is needed?
Yeah, and you can also utilize the concept with the definition as placeholders.
Is that in the definition?
Yes.
So, general reductive definition, a type of definition which explicates the core fundamental notion or idea of a concept, and
you can utilize them as placeholders. They are extensionally identical.
As placeholders.
For each other, and they are extensionally identical.
Placeholders, and they are extensionally identical.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the category error I'm committing?
Yeah, the category you're committing is just basically making a conflation between the general reductive definition and extensional and intentional types of definitions.
Okay. And what's going to be the distinction between the two?
Yeah, okay, so an intentional extensional type of definition embeds some intrinsic criterions or some extrinsic criterions. Or facts about the problem, or facts about the concept.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the second kind talks about facts of the concepts, right?
The second kind is a conjunction between two types of definitions.
Right, which and they embed talks about facts of the concept.
Embed criteria or facts about the concept. Yeah.
Right, talks and criterion are the same in that context.
Okay.
Now, do you think two types? Now, do you think the former definition doesn't embed facts of the concept?
Yeah, I said. Wait, did you even listen to what I said? That's an intrinsic and
Well, that's just
extrinsic.
yes or no, boss. It was just.
Yes, it does.
Do you think the former?
Yes, it does. But did you write down?
So
Yeah.
what's the relevance? What's the relevant distinction between the two?
Yeah, because the other doesn't employ extrinsic or intrinsic types.
Okay, wait. Why I think that?
Yeah, because an extrinsic thing is not the core fundamental idea of a thing. Like, you can fail to be true in a possible world. I mean, that cannot be something which is essentially identical to the concept.
And which notion of definition were you think I was employing?
Yeah, when you're talking about logical account, then I would assume that you're not retarded and you're holding to a general definition.
Right. So then how did I commit a category error?
Yeah, because your objection hinges upon the category between intentional and extensional types with general reductive definitions. Yes.
What's the argument for that?
Yeah, I got you. So essence employs intrinsic types, right, or criteria. That's basically that's going to be an analytical truth. If you try to say that's going to be the case, that given the essence, which is we can take them as necessary sufficient conditions, therefore it's going to be a definition. But then now you're just conflating between an extensional intentional type with a general reductive definition.
You agree that general reductive definition embeds the internal talk, right?
What do you mean by internal talk? Are you trying to equivocate that with intrinsic?
I'm not equivocating; they're identical.
I'm asking. They're identical.
Yeah, I'm saying the question there was loaded when you asked what I was equivocating on them. But I take them to be identical.
Yeah, equivocating can just mean that you take them to be equal. It doesn't have to necessarily be a fallacy, but okay.
Well, that's idiosyncratic. Nonetheless, you agree the general reductive type talks about the intrinsic talk, right?
The general reductive type, no.
Okay, let's inquire on the intrinsic talk there. So hold on, let's type this down. Intrinsic. What do you think the intrinsic talk is saying on the second kind?
What do you mean of the second kind? I had a conjunction.
Yeah, you gave two notions of definitions. You said I was committing a category error. You talked about intrinsic and extrinsic. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm kind of finding
you said there was a general. You said there was a general reductive definition, and you gave another notion of definition which embeds two types, intrinsic and extrinsic. And I'm inquiring on the intrinsic talk there.
The intrinsic talk will only pertain to the intentional definitions. Yes.
Yeah, I'm inquiring on the intrinsic talk there.
Oh my god. Okay, look. So, do you think that intrinsic facts, like
I'm asking you a clarity question.
I'm asking you a clarity question.
What do you think the intrinsic talk is saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that. Intrinsic talk is just something which is gonna be internal. Just essential features.
Internal.
Yeah. And so it's gonna be individual.
Wait, please can I type this out? Internal to the essential features
that add on to the concept.
That add on to the concept. Oh, well, yeah, I denied that I was conflating them because I denied that when I was talking. Okay, wait. Let's be very clear. What I said commits me to the second notion of the definitions you gave?
Commits you to the second type of definition? Yeah. So again, because we're talking about essence. Yeah. Essence. What do you take? Where do you take essence to be? You don't just take it to be the set of essential properties.
Necessary sufficient conditions.
Necessary sufficient conditions insofar as they are characterized as the totality of essential properties of the thing. Correct?
Yeah, but I don't think you can add on to those.
No. That's adding on. When I say add on, I'm saying it's adding on to the general reductive definition.
Hold on now. When we go back to the intrinsic talk there, and you said what it means, the intrinsic talk is talking about the internal to the essential features that add on to the concept. Now you're saying add on to the general reductive definition?
Yes, you're not tracking. Look, I said the general reductive definition is extensionally identical to the concept, so that wouldn't be contradictory.
Stop yelling.
No, it's autistic.
Wait. So do you think on that second notion of definitions you gave, does that presuppose the general reductive definition?
The second definition I gave presupposed that what? So what? That doesn't even make any sense. Can you go ahead and clarify?
Well, it was a very clear question. You gave two notions of definitions. You gave the general reductive definition.
No, I gave three.
Another notion.
I gave three. You even agreed that we gave three.
We're talking about the two relevant ones. You said I was committing a category error on. Right? Well, you could have gave 1,000, but you said I was committing a category error in virtue of 2. That's all I'm talking about. That's fine. You said I was committing a category error on the general reductive account and the second definition, which embed two factors, which was the intrinsic and the extrinsic talk.
Yeah, intrinsic and extrinsic are separate categories of definitions.
I know.
Oh, so you conceded.
Wait. You think that? Hold on. Let's be very clear. You're saying intrinsic and extrinsic are two separate notions of definitions?
Intrinsic and extrinsic? What? That's embedded within the definition I gave of intentional and extensional.
Right. So it's all under one concept, right?
No. Like I said, it's a conjunction between two concepts. Like I said, was it not a conjunction? Did I not say that?
What are you? Wait. Hold on, let's be very clear.
No, Kylo, listen. Let's go back to the prior reasoning.
I'm getting clarity.
I got you. Let me clarify something.
What are you clarifying? What are you clarifying?
Yeah, I'm gonna clarify.
You don't need to know.
Yes, you do. So prior reasoning. Prior reasoning.
I'm gonna talk about the first one. Wait, the first one is the general reductive definition. The second one is what?
The intentional.
Intentional. And the third one is the extensional.
Yes, but then I group them together, which is a conjunction.
Right, so you group them together and it makes it one, right?
If it under the conjunction, but it doesn't mean they're the same concept. You're trying to equivocate upon the concepts. I'm not yelling.
You're yelling.
Is this like a Reddit? Only you just lie about people yelling? Like, you fucking nonsense. Calm down.
Everybody in the chat. Is he yelling? Put ones in the chat if he's yelling.
Put ones in the chat if he's yelling, guys. Irrelevant to substance? Irrelevant to substance?
I can't hear you, gang.
Irrelevant to the substance? Irrelevant to the substance? Correct?
People in the chat are saying you're screaming.
I'm not screaming. My mic is just loud. What?
You think? Wait. So you'd agree if a convergence of mass people are saying you're yelling and loud, it's going to be more likely that you're actually yelling and loud?
Depends on the situation.
No, gang. These are people that don't even know you. They don't have to be biased to you, bro. You're yelling. So hold on.
It doesn't matter. So it's relevant to substance.
Let's just get back to the. Yes, I'm just asking not to yell. So getting back to the point, right? You gave the general reductive definition. Then you say you gave the intentional and the extensional definition, but they're not distinct definitions because they're conjoined. Yes or no?
That's not what I said.
Oh, I didn't say you said that. I asked a clarity question. I said yes or no.
Yeah, if I say I didn't say that, then I said no. What the fuck?
Okay, so let's be very clear. The intentional and the extensional definitions are distinct?
Yes, distinct types. Because extensional just employs extrinsic criteria. However, intentional only employs intrinsic ones, meaning that there's a distinction between the two. There's a symmetry breaker.
Okay. And let's get the definition for the extensional con.
I just told you. Do you want to track?
I deny that. So what's the definition?
Yes, it's just getting
Why are you
bad.
back yelling?
Can you stop? 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 Stop. Let me continue.
Do you know that you're yelling?
Okay, can I finish what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck.
Okay, what's the definition on the extensional con?
So extensional concept is going to embed extrinsic facts or properties or criteria.
Embed extrinsic. You said extrinsic, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're sassy. Extrinsic. Embeds extrinsic facts. So we have three notions of definitions here. We have the general reductive definition, the intentional definition, and the extensional definition. Now you said I was committing a category error.
Hello?
Audible, to be clear?
Well, I cut out. Wait, did you cut out or did I cut out?
Which two of the three?
But I cut out. Can you repeat that?
Oh, you're echoing.
I said
so we have the general. I got you. We have the general reductive definition. We have the intentional definition. We have the extensional definition. Now, the type of definition I was using when I talked about the logical possibility was just the former of the three. You said I was committing a category error. Of which are I'm committing a category error to?
Intentional and reductive.
Okay. And yeah, do you have a supplementary argument for that claim?
Yeah, I already gave you a process.
One?
I'm not gonna give you premise to premise. What the fuck? Do I have to give you premises? Like what?
Your boost mobile's cutting up.
You said what?
Yo, I'm sorry. Lagging or is that him? Chat, let me know if I'm lagging or is that him?
Yo, hello?
You gotta get your connection together, sir.
Yo,
okay,
hello?
perfect.
Hello?
Yeah, what's premise one?
Yeah, I don't have to give you the premises to conclusion form. That's just not true. Can you justify that?
Yes, sir. Nigga didn't pay that Cricket wireless bill.
So there's no justification for me giving you the obligation of me giving you the premises to conclusion. Nice. Yeah, so the category, basically, the category basically committing yourself to.
What are you talking about? Nobody could even hear you. You were talking to yourself.
What? Well, I'm speaking to you.
You've been lagging. Why are you playing oblivious like you're not lagging?
I didn't know I'm lagging. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, why is that?
Yo, do you want to talk whenever your Wi-Fi is fixed, or are you gonna fix it?
I can literally hear you through the echoes. You can hear me clearly.
Okay, perfect. All right, what was premise one?
Again, what's gonna be the justification that I'm obligated to give you the premises to conclusion?
That question's loaded because it presupposes that I made the claim you're obligated.
Oh, so I'm not obligated. Okay, so I'm not gonna give it in premises to conclusion.
You'd agree that question was loaded, right?
Even if it wasn't, it's irrelevant to the point.
Oh, so wait, do you agree that was a loaded question?
I don't know what you mean by loaded question.
Yeah, it presupposes something which is faulty. You don't know what loaded questions mean now?
It doesn't presuppose. No, it doesn't presuppose.
Niggas will turn bad faith for no reason.
I'm telling you. Well, I just don't know what a loaded question is. No.
Now you don't know what a loaded question means.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Just to be clear, it's not presupposing anything. It's not presupposing. Are you autistic? Just calm down. Yo, this nigga's actually embarrassing himself. Do you think this looks appealing? Yo, this is actually autistic.
Alright, yeah, what's the reason to believe? We can just, bro, you gotta fix that mic though. Yeah, what's some reason to believe I committed the case? Well, let's first of all define Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do this shit. I'm just gonna give you the reason as to why you committed the category error. I'm gonna put you on no commute. I'm gonna put you on no commute until I'm done. Give you the reason as to why you committed the category error. So no matter how much you speak, I'm not gonna hear you. So again, oh my god, this nigga is retarded, bro.
Like I said, bro, type in general chat when you unmuted me, and I'll unmute you. I'm not perming. You said you're gonna local mute me. What do you say?
Hello?
Because you know, I never touched your mic before you said you were gonna local mute me. I've never muted you once, by the way.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't permit me.
What do you take a category error to be?
Yeah, conflicting two distinctive categories or separate categories?
Conflating.
That's asking me, yeah, the same thing you're asking me, saying I'm that fake. That's crazy. So I'm gonna just give you the reason as to why you're committing a category error.
What do you take conflating to mean? I have a clarity question. What do you take conflating to mean?
Equivocating on two things that are not the same? Like what?
Oh, equivocating. You said I was equivocating, huh? And you take equivocation to be what?
Bro, to take two things identical in the incorrect respect.
Take two. To take
two things to be the same, but they're not.
To take when they are not. All right, perfect. What's the reason to believe I did that?
Yeah, I got you. I was supposed to do that like a million years ago. You keep cutting me off. Yeah, so the reason is specifically, right? Again, when you're talking about essence, right? Essence is going to be categorized as totality of all essential properties or necessary descriptive properties of the subject, correct? So that's just going to employ some interesting facts, not necessarily the core fundamental definition, because again, you can have things which are not, they don't only have essence, but they can also have extrinsic facts, correct? And so that means that's not going to be essentially.
You can have things that don't. Wait, I didn't hear that last part. You said you can have things that have an essence but don't have what?
No, you can have things that do have essence, but also have extrinsic properties added onto it. Like within the identity.
And are you? Why would that be relevant to the metaphysical modality?
Oh my god, can you just can I go ahead? Yeah, because then I got you. Because then.
Damn, why are you back yelling?
Why are you doing this shit? Like, you're interrupting me, and then when
why am I calling out you?
Why are you cutting me off? You cut me off, and then I yelled. So I can tell you to shut the fuck up.
No, don't yell at all.
No, then shut the fuck up. Then the hell. I don't give a fuck about your shitty ass conditions. I'm gonna yell if you keep cutting me off. Alright. No, I'm relaxed. Just calm down. Just because you got scared doesn't mean I'm not relaxed. Anyways, so just calm down. Calm down, please. This is not a good debate strategy. Just talk.
Right. Come on.
I got you. Alright. So again, specifically, right? Essence just refers to the totality of essential features, correct? Which just means employing intrinsic facts, which again, if you're saying that, well, by the essence is going to take a logical account, that's just false, because then that would mean that you'd be saying that it's going to be essentially identical, which is not. Essentially identical concept, but even though, just wait, chill. It's not going to be essentially identical. It's not going to be essentially, can you calm down? It's not going to be essentially identical, but the fact that something can have essential plus intrinsic facts, right? Which essential identity is going to
Relax.
You're cutting me off. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. No, this is not going to happen. This is very dishonest. Have your country question when I'm done. Have my country question when I'm done.
No, why would I continue to talk?
Why should I continue? Why should I let you cut me off? Hold on. Why should I let you cut me off?
Do you think it's productive to say things when I need to understand something? Why would you?
You can literally ask that later. The fuck, dude? Should I teach you this in 4th grade? Like, just calm your ass down.
Are you saying I'm equivocating on an Islamic view? This is my clarity question. Are you saying I'm internally equivocating, or I'm equivocating on the Islamic view? I'm fine to say I'm equivocating on the Islamic view.
Objection. Chill. Yeah, I'm answering your question. I don't need any of this.
You're saying internal to my scheme, I've equivocated, right?
Wait, guys, one second. Wait, one second. Yo, cut to your mic, bro. It's really bad, bro.
Yeah, I've been telling him that. He doesn't believe me.
We even join back.
No, he thinks I'm just like being biased. Like, what the fuck?
No, the mic is so shit, bro. Spotlight's so shit, man. Like, I can't even hear Kylo when you're speaking, bro.
Yeah, but he's cutting me off, so I don't care. Like, what the fuck?
No, the mic's horrible.
Even join back. See if the mic changes. Cause you got something on, brother. Speak now?
Hello?
Yo, why is it? It's still the same.
Yeah, it's gonna stay bad. His mic has always been bad. He knows this.
No, when I joined before, it was good, bro.
No, bro, he knows his mic has always been bad. But let's just proceed. Let's put let's just debate for like another 10 minutes. This is not really interesting, so I'll just do 10 more minutes. But
look, I'm just like, go ahead, because like you're just interrupting. Look, just calm down.
Wait, I had a clarity question that we never went over. Were you saying I was equivocating extrinsically? That's just to say the way Islam takes the metaphysical talk is not how I've employed it. Are you saying in this debate I've equivocated? So you're saying I've used the term one way, and then in the same context I use that same term in a different manner?
No, your objection or critique to metaphysical modality, the collapse critique that you were giving, right? Just employ some categorical error, meaning that the argument for why they are not distinct or indistinct is just fallacious because it's a category error. Your argument's
wait. Do you agree that when I gave the objection I had stipulated the terms, right?
No.
Yes, of course. When I gave the objection, I told you the definitions of both the metaphysical and.
Oh, that's fine, but yeah, that's fine, but yeah, I don't think he's tracking like at all. His justification.
Okay, so look, one second. So look, there's a problem here, right? When I gave the objection, I had stipulated the terms, right? So it just seems like this whole response had just been some external equivocation, which I don't care about, unless you're saying I internally equivocated, and that's gonna have to be something you justify. The other talk's dismissed.
Oh my god, you're autistic. Look, your
You're gonna get
justification.
back on the rhetoric. You're calling me.
No, I'm trying to go back to the substance. Don't away, Kylo. This is not substantial.
Why would you bring up rhetoric though?
Yo, I just call you autistic because you're autistic. Why do you care? You were literally doing that the whole time. You're doing that the whole time. Just calm down.
You're acting autistic right now.
Alright, bro. Can I continue the substance or are you gonna run away?
Never ran, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying that what the justification that you're giving is just implying a category error, right? It implies a category error, right? Between intentional types of definitions with general reductive types of definition under Russell's propositional structure.
Okay, so let's be very clear. And this is a binary question. If it is the case that my notion of logical and metaphysical modality both use the general reductive definition, there could be no equivocation, yes or no?
No, I'm talking about how you're making an equivocation between the essence and the logical account.
Wait, I'm saying, this is my question.
No, I just said no. What?
Okay. Wait, so you think there can be equivocation if they're analytically identical?
Bro, I'm saying there's equivocation. No. Look, I'm not saying that you're equivocating between X and Y, right? I'm just saying that you're equivocating between B and A, for example. It doesn't have to be the case that you have to equivocate on X and Y, right? So I'm just saying that you're equivocating on these.
Oh God.
I was speaking.
This is my question. This is my. Go ahead.
Yeah, so pretty much it doesn't have to be the case that you have to equivocate upon metaphysical and logical modality, but your reasoning as to why they are indistinct might employ some concepts like, for example, A and B, into which you're equivocating between the two.
Okay. You'd agree, this is just to be clear, you'd agree, if my reasoning for why they're not distinct is that the reason they're not distinct is because they're analytically identical, if that was my reason, there would be no room for equivocation. Do you agree? We're hypothetically speaking.
Oh my god, that's not what we're talking about. Oh my god.
Yes or no?
Kylo, you're not tracking. Like, this is really hard. No, Kylo, you agree. This is Kylo. Initially, we agreed that we don't need to do this. We can just go ahead and get the distinction between the two, and that's sufficient enough. Can we do that?
What?
You said I don't have to go ahead and keep critiquing on your objection to metaphysical and logical modality being distinct. You said I can just go ahead and give a distinction between the two, and that's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, look, I'm just gonna give the distinction between metaphysical modality and logical modality. Is that fine?
Okay, we can move on past this point. All I want to know, I just want to be clear before we move on. The objection was, look, I committed a category error, and you're saying I was equivocating on the general reductive definition and the intention, or you were saying the extensional definition
of what?
And then my question of the logical and the metaphysical modality.
Holy shit, this guy contradicts.
You're talking about my reasons for why they were distinct embedded a category error, right?
Oh my god, you're just.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah, you're so wrong, bro. We're not talking about that.
Wait. So did you say my reasons for why they were distinct embedded a category error? Did you say that?
Yes, your reasoning, right, has a category error between two. Wait. Your reasoning. No. Stop.
I was in my response. I'll let you speak. I was in my response. I still meant your critique. I said, is this what you said? You say yes. So you can't be like, oh, you're retarded. You're not tracking. No, you agree to the still man.
No.
You saying you want to move past the objection. Before we move past the objection, let's just get clear. That objection only goes through if they are distinct. Now the question was, if my reasons for why they're not distinct was that they're numerically identical, they're analytically identical, then why are you back unmuting your mic yelling?
I was yelling. Hold on. I dropped my laptop PC. Oh okay. God, I dropped my PC twice. Hold on.
Are you here? Are you listening?
My bad. So I just dropped my laptop like twice. My bad. You can go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Now here's a clarity question. Do you think it's possible for your objection to go through if my reasons for why they are not distinct is because they are analytically identical? Do you think the objection you gave is impossible?
What is they?
What is they? The two reference, the logical modality and the metaphysical modality. The reason, remember, the objection was the reasons I gave for why they are not distinct committed a category error. Between the general reductive definition and the extensional definition.
Yeah, but extensional. Of
okay,
what?
Perfect.
Of what?
What?
Of what?
You can say of what? No, he
said I said there's a conflation between the extensional. I'm not extensional, my bad. Intentional and general reductive definition. But general reductive definition and intentional definition of what?
I'm not understanding your question, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can't even lie. You just don't have an answer. Yeah.
Wait. I want to be clear. I want to hear the response, and let's see if it's nothing I've already said.
Response to what?
You said of what? I said it's not clear what you're saying there. So you fill in the blank and let's see if it's something I hadn't already said.
Bro, I literally just did.
No, you muted your mic. So when you said of what, fill in the blank there.
Yeah, so again, when we talk about, we said that I said that you're making a category between the general reductive definition and the extensional or intentional type of definition, correct?
Of what?
Yes, of definition of what? Like of a pineapple, my nigga? Like what the fuck?
Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank.
Just did. Are you talking about like the definition of what? No, I'm saying we have like two like types of definition that you're conflicting upon, right?
I'm saying
now definition of what term? A pineapple? A nigga? Like what term?
By the way, you asked me the question to see if I was tracking. I said, I don't know what you're saying. Answer the question. Prima facie, you have an answer to the question you asked me because you employed the question as if I wasn't tracking something. But now it seems like you wasn't even asking that question as if it had. There's nothing to be answered there. What's my fucking point? You said, look, you said of what? I said, I don't know what you're saying there. You answered of what then? Answer the question.
Oh yes, of what term? Definition of what term? Because you make again we give rest of propositional structure, right? I'm saying that within this term, can you calm down?
You charge me with equivocating. Wait, I'm so confused. You charge me with equivocating.
Yes. Under rest of propositional structure, without hold under my scheme, it would be the case that you're equivocating.
Oh, of what? I'm equivocating of what? On what term?
That's what I'm asking you, dumbass.
Nigga, wait, bro, you can't be real. You can't charge me with equivocation and then ask me what term I'm equivocating on. That would be your burden.
No, I'm asking what. I'm not saying you're No. I'm saying what do you think I was saying you were equivocating on? Because I already gave you other terms that you're equivocating on.
I already told you. Look, see what I'm saying? I already said I don't know what you're talking about. Fill in the blank. Come on, you obviously.
No. I'm explaining this very simply. Right? So I gave you an objection. I said you made a categorical error between A and B, right? And the A and B here is just specifically the general reductive definition and the intentional type of definition. But intentional definition of what term and general reductive definition of what term? Are you saying intentional definition? Yeah, wait, hold on. Intentional definition of a pineapple? Intentional definition of a dick? Like what?
Nigga, the only terms been employed is logical and metaphysical modality.
No, you also employed essence. You employed essence and logical account, correct? Necessary sufficient conditions.
We said what it means. Yeah, we said what it means to be metaphysically necessary talks about the essence. So
yes, and I'm saying that. Okay. Yes, so I'm saying that essence would just be referring to the intentional types of definitions. But when you talk about a logical account of definitions, that would refer to the general reductive definitions. So the necessary sufficient conditions that you are embedding would only refer to the general reductive types of definitions, not the necessary sufficient conditions within the intentional types of definitions. Into which you would be equivocating upon the two because there's no logical account within essence, because that would be an intentional type of definition. So yes, in terms of within my scheme, yes, you are equivocating.
Thank you. Getting back to my whole point. This all you've been saying in the dialects, and this goes back to what I was saying. You're not saying I'm internally equivocating because what I said a plethora of times is when I talk about the essence, I'm using the former part. I'm using the general reductive definition. I'm not using the intentional account. What? And I said, look, if you're 1 second, let me get it all. I gotta let you speak. I say if you're using the notion differently, that's fine. We can equivocate. But I said, let's be very clear. Do you think I'm internally equivocating? Am I internally being fallacious? Right? That was the whole contention. Now, if you're not saying, if you're not saying in the dialect, I equivocated on my own semantics, bingo, there's no problem. If you're saying we use the terms differently, that's fine. So if you're just saying, look, the objection I gave is not applicable to Islam because Islam uses terms differently, boom, we can adopt the Islamic language, right? But before we move on, the charge you're not making is that I've been internally equivocating. Is that correct?
What? Yeah, on terms of like Russell propositional structure, internal masking, then yes. We're talking about like essence and other shit, yes.
Okay, perfect. So they're just saying we're using terms differently. Now let's so the intentional talk says internal to the essential features that add on to the concept. Now, how is that applied to the essence? Break that down. How that's applicable to the essence?
Yeah, so again, because if you say something is extensionally identical, that can refer to something which has plus the essential and non-essential features, right? So as we said, general reductive definitions would just say that it would be extensionally identical, which refers to every single type of property of the essence, right? And then so what I'm specifically saying here is just that the internal features alone does not equivocate to the general reductive definition.
Oh, wait. Okay, that's fine. And to get back to the main objection of the dialect was, could there be no man that has knowledge of an empty world? When you talk about God being metaphysically necessary, does that allow for there to be possible worlds which God doesn't exist in?
No, he would exist in every single possible world.
So in every logically possible world, God necessarily exists.
Okay. No, who said logically?
That's what I've prefaced with the logical modality. But so, okay, let me ask a clear question. Do you think there are logically possible worlds where Allah does not exist in?
Logically possible worlds? Sure, yeah.
You said what? You said yeah. There are logically possible worlds where Allah doesn't exist in.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you take a metaphysically possible world to be?
A metaphysically possible world is something which is going to be possible under the metaphysical scope of modality. Employs those possibility relations.
Huh?
Employs the possibility relations of the metaphysical scope of modality.
Yeah. Okay. And what's needed to be metaphysically possible?
Yeah, so we can just give like pretty much like an extensive idea of what it is. So, like for example, like principles like MK's extension within ZFC set theory would like not allow, for example, like a member to like actualize a totality, for example, like a single member of the totality. Those
How
are
is set theory relevant to that?
Yeah, I got you. Also something
I feel like I feel like you're jargoning. No, stop yelling. Stop fucking yelling. I feel like you're jargoning. Hold on, I'm not talking. No, gang, I have more standard than you, gang. I said I feel like you're jargoning. See, now you're doing some weird shit. I just want to be very clear. I asked you what's needed to be logically possible, and then you started talking about set theory, gang. I said, or not logically possible, metaphysically possible. Like what's needed to be metaphysically possible, and then you started talking about set theory
Yes,
and
example.
members. Hold on, and members actualizing themselves. Okay, I feel like you're jargoning. So tell me how that's relevant.
No, I said members actualizing the totality.
Wait, is members actualizing the totality needed for a metaphysical possible world?
No, it's an example. It's not like metaphysical impossibilities.
I ask you what's needed. I ain't ask you about nothing else. So I'm saying you jargon.
Okay, I don't need to do that. I can give you like the definition.
If you don't know,
I
you
can
said
give you
you
a
don't
symmetry. I can give you a symmetry breaker between the two. Holy shit.
I'm not asking for symmetry breaker.
It doesn't matter. It's relevant. Sufficient enough to suffice my position.
No,
What the
I'm not-
fuck?
that's not
I
what
don't
I'm
have to do
looking-
that shit.
that's
I'm
not
not
what I'm
obligated.
looking for.
You fucking autistic.
That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for.
Fuck you. I'm trying to suffice my position. Whether you're
No,
looking
you
for
gotta
something else,
calm. You back yelling. You
I'm not
back
even
yelling.
obligated to do this shit.
You're tweaking. Chill. Relax. I mean, I'm specifically. I'm specifically.
We're
Let's
gonna
take
do
this
this
down.
in a normal.
I'm gonna take this down.
Kylo.
What's needed to be?
Yeah, so again, metaphysical modality might account, for example, like principles of like sufficient reason.
Metaphysically possible. Okay. The question is, what's needed for a world to be metaphysically possible?
What's needed for a world to be metaphysically possible?
That's the question on the table.
Again, right? I'm just giving you a symmetry break, which is enough to suffice my position. I don't need to do this.
I didn't
No,
ask
it's enough to suffice. No, it's enough to suffice exemplify my position. Like I don't
a
need to do this.
symmetry breaker between what?
Between logical and metaphysical modality. What the fuck?
I'm not asking about the logical modality right now. We're not talking about a logical modality. If you don't know something, just say I don't know. You don't gotta.
No, you're retarded. You're retarded. If I give you a symmetry, if I give you a symmetry break between the two, then I've already explained what metaphysical modality is. Correct?
Hold on. I didn't ask what metaphysical modality is. I asked what's needed for.
Why is that relevant? I could just tell them. Let's ask everybody. No, stop. No. Let's ask everybody in chat. Stop. I'm not gonna answer the question. I'm not gonna answer. Kylo, chill.
I'm not worried about the audience. I'm not worried about the audience. My question to you is: Do you have the answer to the question? What's needed for a world to be metaphysically possible?
But again, I'm not gonna answer that. I can give you the definition, and it can be entailed, right? Because you agreed that definitions include necessary sufficient conditions, right? So you can already tell what the conditions are. Which conditions are just like things.
What's the definition?
Yeah, if I tell you the definitions, are not enough.
Huh?
If I tell you the definition, because you said what's needed, you said definitions.
Yeah.
Okay. You agreed. You agreed definitions. You agreed definitions.
You just asked me a question. You just asked me a question. I said if the definition embeds the necessary conditions.
Somebody want this shit. This shit's ass, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like we could definitely. This shit is horrible.
Yo, somebody want it. What's the definition? Oh my god, that mic.
No, I'm not gonna like describing the dickhead. Yes, you can.
Bro, you gotta fix that.
Are you gonna shut up now?
But even your own friend said the mic is ass.
Okay,
what's the definition?
Yeah, so again, the relevant symmetry breakers are just simply
Not
metaphysical modality, metaphysical. Okay,
Not the symmetry breaker. What's the definition?
Nigga, if I give you all relevant symmetry breakers between the two, then I'll give you the definition.
I don't see how that follows.
Yeah, I mean it does. I mean you can just go look, Kylo. I don't see the obligation for this.
If you don't know it, just say I don't know it. Again, you wasting
I
time.
do. You wait. No. For example,
Bro, you wasting time. What's the definition? What's needed for a world to be metaphysically possible? It's a simple question.
Can you stop? Yeah, I can.
What's needed for a world to be metaphysically possible?
You can infit it if I give you the definition. Like, what the fuck?
What's the definition?
Alright, let me tell you that then. What the fuck? Alright, so metaphysical modality would take into account things like the principles of sufficient reason, etc. So it's gonna be something which is a middle ground between
metaphysical modality. The definition of metaphysical modality is something
which takes into account like principles of causality, space, time, and etc.
Into account causality and what else?
What? Yeah, causality, space, time. All these other metaphysical concepts. Okay, so chill. Yeah, so okay, just chill. Right? It has cause, space, time, all these other metaphysical concepts, right? And specific principles for those. Like for example, is it possible?
The definition of metaphysical modality is something that takes into account causality and space time.
Okay, like chill. I'm not done.
So you're saying
I'm not done.
You're saying
I'm not done.
what's more needed on the definition?
Yeah, and we'll also take into account things like explanations, like the principle of sufficient reason. All these things take into account these metaphysical concepts, which again they don't. It doesn't have to be, I don't see any reason.
So metaphysical modality. Let me read this back out. So this is crazy. Secret thinks the metaphysical modality is something that takes into account causality, space, time, and things like the PSR. That's the definition, right?
Yes.
Causality. Okay. And do you agree that the logical modality also takes into account things like causality, space, time, and PSR?
No.
Okay. Are you saying, to be very clear, the logical modality cannot or does not account for these things?
It does not. Like, it cannot. It only refers to like possibility relations. Yeah, it refers to possibility relations in context of there being a contradiction or violating an axiom of logic.
And when you say the logical modality cannot account for things like space-time, causality, and PSR, and let's be very clear. You're saying logical modality cannot account for causality, to be clear?
Yeah, just to be clear, like for example, I just got like a 30 question.
Is that a yes or no? Just a yes or no.
What? What question? Go ahead. Repeat it.
My question was yes or no. Are you saying the logical modality cannot account for space-time?
No.
Okay, perfect. So Secret thinks the logical modality cannot account for space-time. And when you say cannot there, what's going to be the relevant modality?
It cannot. Like, it's just definitionally true. It's analytical truth.
I'm asking. I'm inquiring on the modal flavor, sir.
Yes, it's a logical impossibility. Like what?
Okay, what's the P and P?
Yeah, so definitely, I said it's analytically the case that it does not count.
What's the P and P?
Yeah, so that look, you're fucking retarded. It's analytically the case. No, it's analytically no. The definition.
Don't start yelling. I can't hear you.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
No, I can't. So don't yell. So what's the P? What's the P?
Okay, look again. It's analytically false. Therefore, it's a contradiction.
What's the P?
Oh my god. Yeah, so the P just specifically that, well, logical modality is just the same as not taking into account space-time, metaphysics, etc.
Logical modality.
Axioms of logic.
Wait, hold on. Logical modality doesn't account for...
Yeah, so like logical modality, the definition of it, it's just specifically...
And what's an P?
Yeah, so, wait, I'm not done with the P. Yeah,
okay, repeat the P. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the P is just specifically that logical modality only, yes, and only accounts for violation of axioms of logic to discern whether something is impossible or not, or whether something is possible.
Logical modality only accounts for violations of the axioms of what?
Logic and principles.
Logic. Okay, and what's an P?
Yeah, if you say that it's only, right, but then if you say that, well, it's the case that it doesn't take into account things external to the axioms of logic, like cause, space, and time, that would just be contradicting the definition.
Okay, it does.
So it's analytically false.
It does not account
I'll type it out for you.
for violations of... Yes, sir. Okay, and you have an argument for... Wait, and you said that's analytically true and virtual what defining is?
The definition of this gate, but I'll just type it down for you.
No, I don't need you to type it down. It's true and virtual what defining is.
Oh, I got you. One second, let me go on defin. So the reason why that's not B is because causality, space,
I ain't at the reg. You left for too long. But GG's though, bro.
I mean, that was only one point. Like, we didn't even get to the Islamic point, but okay, bro. I mean, like, if you upload it, what are you gonna call it? Debate on Islam or debate on like metaphysical modality? Like what?
Yeah, probably like debate on logic or some shit.
This guy's a troll. I got you.